Why we are gathered here today is because of one, the issue of light. Ukwuani Local Governments. Two, I now see our people, they are grieved. It is true. Nobody will see if talk great media at all.
Like he said, one of the major reasons why we decided to summon this meeting is the issue of the protests some of some persons are organizing. And secondly, we also limit it to also address the issue of security for this three local government by virtue of this meeting. And the third point is to also look at the issue of protecting government facilities within the three local government.
I want to start by saying that why we invited the clan youth presidents and the class PGs, because this set of persons are those occupying position in our various communities and clans. Therefore, whatever we are going to discuss and agree upon here, you people are in a better position to go back to our various communities and clans to disseminate the information you obtain at the end of this gathering.
Asukwane benenu Ukwuani trumpet neke no shokwenu kode getanyo Ukwuani trumpet anyne KWALE yabutagbo ugbe ni mane Ukwuani kashina anyi dine bel adine bel makone ke osancha maroshi nime ochichi Ukwuani wetibe Ukwuani ozato oshina nyibaburu no Ukwuani anyi wole Ndokwa East Ndokwa West nwesho Ukwuani local government area bo osancha bo Ukwuani ikew Ishoku ifema na afo yakojina abegwar yakojina akparuka osancha morosi onwene ofunsogbu osanyi Ukwuani na enwese nsogbu kel dubebe ndu anye ne kokwa anye de ya bifo ibokpone life and property ajaji wanda chi anye ne bo nwa local government to wadibani trilulu bunda ko do ya mnane nefo yenya Piakusi weka kwegware egwanu ade kpone wa kpone wene nweso wede kpashini NNU ya Ndokwa niku tieni meye ikolobia ne ngboto dasare keka ukpokuru di bebe basa no Ukwuani tieni meye shikwa paruka bene organisu Ukwuani kwelwe mari elwe keme kwadoji ifendari koshi on ebibi onode Ukwuani ajaji mekute nijoge kana nekenegire ngmamala to makonike ishoko no goge anyarba futu egwari dele ne ngmamala to dubunere kpone egwari kenunu makonike ojogbo nwa sibe maru na achi sukune je na apsana ebel yarishnu ekwaya kwa paruka kwa ezuezu koso Ukwuani bolofobi basane organisu Ukwuani aje yarishanyo Ukwuani trumpet nekenewe ambe kute ndijoge kana nekene onye obunene na akpati onye Ukwuani trumpet shi yambene so kinwendiri ninofo osa ife menini ime ikparuka akenu na agwaso onye obune nene so akpati onye Ukwuani trumpet chako jikene tino selfufu ibene Ukwuani adene kwa mare shi onodide lenu adewo notagbo ugbe ni mani Ukwuani baene organisu Ukwuani na agwaso onye obuna ne sakpati onye Ukwuani trumpet cha bieka ni YouTube channel ni Ukwuani trumpet ni no forsa oji Ukwuani trumpet na neji baene Ukwuani kosanyi ncha ajaji na agwasi osamaro senuka ode osancha maroshi worksofu marochi eluno na-achị ndo na-achị n'soye na-achị dị na-agwaso Ukwuani suwe biko ka ezadi n'ukuko gbagji makonike onye na-achị ni ele ndo na-achị memini chinabruso chinigwe ele ọ na-achị achị kende keye ọ na-achị dike wala tweka elmo ojike Ukwuani trumpet n'ikenu n'ikene na agwonu sonye ni ko jigire n'onye na arụkmene yakwa gwasha gire ko ji ndị banye n'ubo jike wo ishegwar
Ndokwa bi. Mwe karebe. Osajaje. Ndewo video. Nikom. Onya te kaya yo. Noanio. Official guys. You are welcome. I go keep you alone. So I want to force you to learn my language. So I want to mix it up with English and my language. But I don't call it Vandalism. How is so? First, Your Excellency, our own governor, that's the deputy governor of our state. We in the other building, Asom Babylon. Ndokwa East, I welcome you. The dean of all things, Nwanani. Okay, what did you? Yes. I'm loyal. Sorry, don't mess on that. Our leader, because although it's not the age, it's the six of pine. Our brother, our son, our leader, Honorable Nnamdi, right Honorable Nnamdi, full option. Now I will loyal. Honorable Commissioner, Professor, Doctor, Engineer, Chief, Ashimoto. That will multiple PhDs. He has multiple PhDs, so he's an incredible man. We call him an academician of our time. You're welcome. Our own son, our brother, who has been doing well, Honorable Anoka. You're welcome. And our own NNU president, Mwanani, no, he's there with the center. Sorry, in this way. My landlord, no vessel. That is my landlord. The chairman, Ndokwa East, High Chief, Oshilonia. No. And our son in making, SAN in making, Barrister, Agede, possible. Our own NNU, the people of NNU, PGs of all PGs. Nuanio, Nuanio, Senator Nuanio, and all service chiefs here present. You are welcome to this our August occasion. Many members, Chief Dr. Godday will be said. By the grace of God, the Council Chairman, Ndokwa West. Nuanio. Ketabi said, my colleagues, the two chairmen, the for honoring this invitation, even though it was a short notice. According to Kaburu, the better my colleague, India, I want us to recap a few things because Iberia will have good messages from our leaders who will speak in the same direction. My colleagues will not speak. So I'm not trying to open the speech, and then I also hand over the microphone to my colleagues. Thereafter, Ndarani will pick up the matter and talk extensively on the issue. Why we are gathered here today is because of one, the issue of light. Ukwuani Local Governments. Two, I now see our people, they are grieved. It is true. Nobody will see if we talk about great Misha at all. But it's very, very important for us to let our people know. It be the body of the light. And as far as I am informed, I am in the local nation. So I will not be deceived to go into a program that will rock all of us into a tight corner. Ukwuani Local, to be honest with all of us here, let me digress this way. This government was the best government in the local nation that has experienced here. Let me start this way. Position. Calm down. You see, I called you here. I want to advise some of us. We are all mature. In my city, YOLO. You calm down. We'll give you room to ask questions you want to ask. But if you know the agent of that man that sent you on Facebook, you'll be wrong. But won't take it lightly with you. If I see that agent that is coming here, no, he will disorganize here, just step down now quietly before it's late. Otherwise, if I say calling, Kawayoku, you're going to say, I could have been the back one. If I shall. So, the issue of today, if you watch very well, the government of the state building will never have deputy governor. And today, deputy governor from the local nation. Secondly, the machines you can government building. Nobody can welcome another key offices that can tell you the government today. And we have been enjoying the system to a greater extent. If man they marry, that by okay. So when you ask questions, they will put you through. So if you are responding, you know how to respond positively. Yes, I stand to be corrected. But it is better you know. And so, let me just throw a little light. Go back. Yes. I'm really watching over years now. We don't have light. But some part of the local nation, they won't even shine like Ukwuani, some part they won't light. Then in Ndokwa West, for over a long time now, we are in darkness, which is also in pain in all of us here. And Ndokwa East too, the same thing. However, the effect of those small companies, they restricted to few areas. And as such, I want to commend, there's a body, one Mocha and Co. That I drive home, Bishop with them. And we are happy that all of us now, our mind will say we should have light. Because in Ndokwa East, when they say the bulk of the gas and oil in this state, and will deserve such rights. Without even much struggle about it. Yes, can that be fair? Today, we have been able to go deep down and discover why there was no light for a long time. It's a very long story, but I thank God that the prompt action of our leaders, as I speak, I don't want to boast, but by the grace of God, within 2 weeks, I'll be kind, sorry, don't go. The light reaching out immediately. I'm not boasting, I don't talk much, you know me. Before I start talking, I have gone far. a Tracy Olumbekel, she didn't go down from Ogorodon. From Benin, Ogorodon, Alameru, a place, Ukwuani. And about to discover where we have little issues. From Umwembu, which I know my colleague can speak better on that. What is the reason? From Otakuno, from Okume, on Ukwuani to Takuno, I don't want to speak better. And we'll take, they lighted that light for about a day or two. It was stripped off. From Okume to Kwale here. Last year here, the post has been replaced and the line was not. But all of a sudden, we vandalize it. And then people there wind down. Assuming, but not considering they want to hold the right time. Where will it flow from? And so, that's another issue. Then, the Otakuno axis, Ogume axis, we also discovered that there are so many transport units where there are people able to raise funds with the transformers. But we made one simple mistake by not going to register them immediately. That's the simple truth. And as such, over in the lights are up, they were angry, we chip them off. So until we come and recognize it, we need to move. And as I speak, our own son, our brother, our leader, the Holy Governor, has gone far. One of our own has been given that job, and it's also here with us to throw light on how far he has gone. And in the process, an amount has been mentioned to make sure that the light will kick off. Then, Ayeneshi from Ozora Angle. Hello. Let's welcome the MD of Somali. No. And so, that I was saying, one has this meeting, the way our person were able to go to Arede axis. We also discovered that from Arede to Kwale, Igashi to West Emu, that area, our own tools have been vandalized. The high tension is different there. And so, we make sure we push, as we are talking now, I was there from the national grid, that is 33. And so, why are we here? Can Ukwuani say, our light must light within a few possible days. What kind of opportunities? And then, leaders are Toronto. Government, they just are very well to ensure that the light trigger off. And so, who is that making noise? Please sit down quietly. The chairs, sit there quietly and sit down. One will come. Remain there quietly, please. Yes, so even I don't know. Honorable Ndokwa Nation is that we saw in the media that some persons who are not friendly with this our people, our government and Ndokwa Nation, they like anything. We are seeing them. That church where you do any to achieve the goal, and we say capital no. See that proposed reported on the 16th when they should be leaders will address you. So that we can disabuse our mind completely from that issue, or they are not deterrents. Even though they are. We are not the local nation from what our findings, they are not from the local nation. Their place is enjoying their life. You cannot come from nowhere to come and cause confusion in the local nation. You grow up here as a person, your mother, your father is not from the local nation. So how can you come here to tell us what to do in our own land? If you want problem, go to your village and make the problem. I'm not here in the local land. And I forgot somewhere in the local nation, shall to let them make way. Otherwise, Onacho will tell you. The government meant work all of us, by the grace of God, our governor, Sheriff, and our brother, the only governor who might marry the Yeka, and last year, to ensure that if I'm not sure where Yeka. Maros go Pujo, like a poor little bell. No, Mamio, local government, Orogo, Marocas, raise your hand, Maroka. Shema.
I would like to continue to write on already established. For the purposes of the fact that we have media here, I will be trying to stabilize my language in a proper language that everybody will try to understand. But, let me recognize our leaders of the item. For the past 2 minutes or so, my colleague in Ndokwa West area trying to give an overview of why we have decided to summon this meeting. But permit me on behalf of the council chairman in the place we now refer to as Ndokwa Nation to thank everybody, particularly our leaders and all of you who have deemed it fit to answer to this call. Like he said, one of the major reasons why we decided to summon this meeting is the issue of the protests some persons are organizing. And secondly, we also deem it fit to also address the issue of security in this three local government by virtue of this meeting. And the third point is to also look at the issue of protecting government facilities within the three local government. Because we have seen that over the years, when government struggle, individuals struggle to put facilities in place. Some of our people who are from the clans that make up the three local government area usually, go to those premises and destroy these properties. And it is not in our best interest. And one of the aftermath of destruction of properties is what we are suffering now by virtue of some of our cables and what have you, transformers that have been vandalized. Now let me go straight to the point. Now take it one after the other. The issue of light. My colleague have tried to make a lot of comments, but the truth is that it is not correct when we hear the assertion that Ndokwa Nation is does not have light or there is outage in Ndokwa Nation. I agree there are areas that we don't have light. But, I will be limiting my discussion also to Ukwuani Local Government, where I go to as the council chairman. In Ukwuani Local Government is made up of 9 plants. And Obiaroko being the headquarters of the local government. In Obiaroko, there is light in Obiaroko. Same that there are some areas where you have issue that concerns extension of light to those new areas where we have people now moving into build. And as a council, we are taking proactive steps to see how we can extend light to this area. In Ukwuani Local Government, there is a clan we call Eshoko. Eshoko as a clan, we also have Umukwata as a clan. Umukwata no, because it's a very big clan. We also have Ebedeyu no and Akoko no. These areas, they do not have light as at the point that we over as council chairman. And we have made efforts to see how we can be able to bring light there. We have, the liaison government, the state government, and the local government. We have been able to break down how we intended to set light back. I've been discussing with the Honorable Commissioner for Finance, and I think the state government is doing everything possible to try to ensure that there is light in this general area. We have seen the deal that some of the contractors of BEDC have thrown up for us, and we looked at it as a local government that we may not be able to go in because of the funding involved. And that is why we moved to the state government. And the state government is doing everything about that. About a year ago, we took that step. And I can assure you that a lot of things are crystallizing, and very soon we'll be able to restore light in that general area by the grace of God. If you also move to our mine as a plan and a mine, we understand that there was light there when I took over government. And as we progress, we witnessed that some persons came in and overpowered the security in that facility and in fact vandalized that transformer. And when it was vandalized, we caused BEDC to do a rundown of what it will take us to bring it back to life. And I can confirm that BEDC and their contractors have taken steps to do that. And the reports are before me, which I'm also forwarded, in conjunction with that of Ishoko and Mediuno. So we are doing everything to see that we restore light in that general area. If you go to Umutu within the local government, Umutu has light. And we are also, as a local government, trying to extend light to those areas where we have new buildings springing up. That does not mean that there is no light. They are connected to national grid, and there is light in those general areas. We have another place they call Owapi and Ibede. As at now, when I came in also, Ibede does not have light, but through the effort of the community, relying on their PIA fund and some illustrious sons who donated money, they have been able to restore light to that Ibede community, remaining on Owapi, which we are also now in receipt of what it will take us to reconnect them back to national grid. So in Ukwuani Local Government as it were, or as it is as of today, we have national grid connected to the local government. For areas we don't have national grid, efforts have been made generally to restore them. And I can confirm that with the kind of effort we have put on ground, in a short time, the light will be restored to those communities. Now, it is correct that people have right to embark on protests. But before protests are embarked on, generally you must seek to exhaust internal means of resolving issues, or you approach government. As we speak as a council chairman in Ukwuani Local Government, and I've also confirmed from my colleagues, these persons who are now moving around to assemble some of our children to protest against the place we now call Ndokwa Nation, made up of the 3 local government areas. We have not been approached by anybody to say that there is issue of power at it. However, because we are proactive enough, we have taken steps to identify these general areas I have outlined for you. Now, very recently, because when they started the protest, they started with the issue of BEDC, there's no light and all that. Just when we started showing a report card on how far we have traveled on the issue of returning BEDC or connecting back the area to national grid, they moved back to the issue of IPP. I want to, at this point, thank all our illustrious sons and everybody that have contributed their quota in the issue of affirming that there is a step down of NEPA within the Ndokwa Nation. But at the appropriate time, the honorable member representing Ukwuani Ndokwa Federal Constituency will be able to take us to how far they have traveled, what is the position now. But I can confirm that from all the reports we have gathered, our sons, illustrious sons, both of them are here, some of them are also been able to occupy government positions, have been able to contribute their quota to see that a light is stepped down in the Ndokwa Nation. Of course, you don't expect that to happen in one day. But assuming that conceding that nothing has been done up to this point, and some persons want to take that lead to begin to protest against Ndokwa Nation or people in government as they put it. Then you must be able to seek information so that when you seek information, you will get it. And secondly, it is not the duty of those of us in the Ndokwa Nation or the ordinary market woman who is selling a car in the street in the Ndokwa Nation to step that light. So if you are trying to take proactive steps to address issues, you must be able to come under certain umbrella to do so. But we find it very difficult to ascertain or to pin down the reason why these persons are not trying to move the way they are moving. But we don't want to look at that. But we have it also on good authority because as the chief security officers here in the three local governments that make up Ndokwa Nation, we have been able to set our compass and find out that some of them are doing it just for political reasons. But I want to now begin to crystallize the major reason of this issue of light, why we have assembled your people. We know that the majority of you here are the heads of different communities, either in the capacity of the President General or in the capacity of the youths of those areas. We want to tell you that the issue of light in the Ndokwa Nation is being addressed by the government of Sheriff, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborori, and in conjunction with the local government, and some individuals who are also illustrious sons of Ndokwa Nation. That the issue of going to protest over light that we have already answered, because the question they seek to ask by their protest or they seek to address by their protest has already been answered. So I do not know why they want to go on with the protest. But I can assure you that in the Ndokwa Nation under our watch, we will continue to encourage people to embark, hear their views, and to say what is in their mind, but not to do it in such a way that seeks to break down law and order in the entire local government of Ndokwa Nation. We may not be able to sit down to watch lives and properties lost because our primary aim in this general area is to keep protect lives and property. Now, on the issue of security, we have also keenly observed that there have been a lot of issues of kidnapping, there have been issues of Fulani headers attack, also there have been issues of cultism in this general area. We have also decided to assemble you in your capacities as representative of different clans in the old clans that make up Ndokwa Nation. We have assembled you that there is need for you to take back certain message back to our people back home, particularly on the issue of cultism that has also taken the lives of our people. That in cultism, we are trying to look at the practice of cultism nationally, and any angle you may decide to push it. It is not something that have actually contributed positively to our people. So we want to tell you people to take it back. Even the secondary school now, we now hear that children in the secondary school, students in the secondary school are now practicing cultism. So we want to plead with you as leaders of these clans to please go back and encourage our people, particularly students, that they should desist. They should run away, they should take a flight from anything that will impede them or that put us backward. Because all over, students are now looking at ICT as a destination. In Ukwuani Local Government, we are now establishing an ICT school where we are going to train these persons to compete with all their counterparts all over. So we are please begging you people to try as much as possible to go back and talk to our people. Talk to your wards, talk to the community youth leaders. Of course, the youth leaders are here. We will try to trickle it down where we will now try to, if it is funding is the issue, we will try to deploy for to enable you now begin to organize what I call seminar enlightenment campaigns so that our people can know that the destination now is how to move Ndokwa Nation forward, not to bring us backward. Cultism has not supported any nation. On the issue of kidnapping, security, we believe that is everybody's job. You see something, you say it, to enable us to inform the security agencies, to enable the security agencies get informed, so that they can take proactive steps. Some of us, from the intel we have all gathered also, some of these people who are in the trade of kidnapping and all that, reside among us, and some of us don't have these information. If we don't have it, there's no way we can check these information. So we are appealing to you the traditional rulers who are seated here, to then the president generals who are also in charge of development in their domain. Because the issue of development cannot be limited to only creation of facilities. Of course, you have the aspect of mental development. If we develop the communities and we are not developing our people mentally, it will be a role reversal. So please, I want to plead with us that it is important that this gathering escalate this particular point on the issue of when you see something, you say it, so that the securities can take charge and cover the general area. We are also want to put on record issue of protection of government facilities in our domain. We find out that after government have come in to build, they renovate schools, they build new schools, they build roads, and they build bridges and what have you. Before long, you see people moving in to demolish those facilities. You cannot come and begin to demolish facilities within your domain. What you are saying is that you want to underdevelop your area. What you are saying is that you want to remove your town or village from the map of developments or from the areas that people are now referring that they are now moving from where they are to a more modern level. So we want to encourage us that there is need for us, by virtue of this meeting, to go back also to encourage our people, because you live with these facilities in your domain. There is need for us to begin to protect our facilities. Now, finally, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on the issue of the protest that is all of us through here, I want to reiterate the fact that we have taken steps. We have taken steps to address all the light challenges. Very recently, my colleague also told me that even within the Musadege community here, and some other communities around, they are not thinking of building gas turbine in their area so that they can have some kind of permanent solution before the issue of the IPP will be addressed entirely. The issue of IPP cannot be addressed in one day. It is not a 24 hours thing. So I want to encourage our people. Those of you who love Ndokwa Nation, the only way you can exhibit that you love Ndokwa Nation is by taking proactive steps. And this proactive step must be within the confines of the law. Once you take steps and people are coming to hijack the process, we have seen where people have protested. And just before when they get into the protest, people will come and hijack the process. So we don't want that situation to happen in the Ndokwa Nation. The government, led by His Excellency Right Honorable Sheriff Okolori, have been able to do a lot of things in the Ndokwa Nation. He relapsed some of the positions were gotten by virtue of our disposition to this government. For the first time, we are having the deputy governor of the state within us. We have key positions. The only the superintendent is within Ndokwa Nation. We have the commissioner of finance within the Ndokwa Nation. These are key positions that ordinarily you don't just see them, but today all of them are within the Ndokwa Nation. And my leaders, they are all seated here, and they are leveraging on that to see how they can be able to push Ndokwa and everywhere. If you look at the key projects that have been exhibited or that have been approved within Ndokwa Nation, they are ongoing. You can take a ride to the sites and you see the councils are doing their best. We are doing massively to see that our people have better part of this administration. And we can't do that by confrontation. And I thank God that the new president is here. And I know that under his watch, the major thing he will be seeking to find or to get at the end of the day is to show his report card. And he wouldn't want his government to be characterized with the issue of protest by certain persons that feel that whatever they say is fine. I want to thank all of us. I have spoken enough. My leaders are here to continue to bring out the good messages. Of course, they will come in to make punctuations, to make statements in order to affirm this position. But for now, we have been able to summarize. And I'd like to put on record that those areas that does not have light in the Ndokwa East also, we have been informed that even when the light of KWALE is restored, a place like Ashaka will have light. And we know that whatever that has been vandalized within the process, we're also trying to fix them. So by the time we leave here, of course, a powerful delegation will be set up to manage the process, so that at intervals we will be meeting to give you situation report in state of Ndokwa Nation, so that you will be able to hear first-hand information. so that you don't rely on some issues or some information that have been moderated or that have been put on the internet to calculated to deceive our people. I want to thank everybody. God bless the Ndokwa Nation. Thank you so much.
I want to thank the Honorable Executive Chairman of Ukwuani Local Government. At this junction, permit us to bring in the Executive Chairman of Ndokwa East Local Government, a person of Honorable Mike Oshilonya. How the battle was for him.
Please, my name is Vincent. Which leaders from Ndokwa Nation, I greet you. I want to start by saying that why we invited the Clan Youth Presidents and the Clans PGs, because this set of persons are those occupying position in our various communities and clans. Therefore, whatever we are going to discuss and agree upon here, you people are in a better position to go back to our various communities and clans to disseminate the information you obtain at the end of this gathering. And because the proposed strike will not be backed upon by elderly people. It is, the protest will not be backed upon by the elderly people. It's the youth that will go, that has the fiber to go out and protest. But like my colleagues said, the truth remains that this is the best time in the history of Ndokwa Nation political history that was had high profile position. The deputy governor, the MD Desobade, the dean of college of commissioner, who is the finance commissioner for finance. And as a civilized people, when you have this caliber of people in the office, we have our commissioners here, the House of Assembly, the House of Reps. The best way to go, whatever that needs that are pressing, we go to them and say, please, you people are at the helm of affairs. These are the needs of our people. Protest should be the last resort. In everything we do, we have what we call rule of engagement. We chat, we discuss. We should not be used as a tool to cause disaffection. But I know that the issue of the light affects you and myself. Once there's light, I will benefit and you benefit. It's not that we here we don't like what is good, but there are step by step of doing things. And we don't want to be seen that people who are not or who do not follow due process in whatever we want to achieve. And I wonder, the time our brother, Right Honorable, and some of us here has taken it upon ourselves, the deputy governor, to be talking of light. That's when somebody wants to sponsor protest. Because until the discussion of government materializes, you wouldn't know. Probably they had the discussion somewhere or the information that the leadership of Ndokwa Nation, the political class, they are discussing about this light issue. And some persons want to utilize that position to incite some people to embark on protests. Honorable Possible mentioned something about the disconnections. Some of the problems most of our communities have is not to pay like when you have light. Before that, we used to have light. Ashaka used to have light. It's not paying the required fee to BEDC. And the not that it will not be connected. When you are indebted to them, until you offset your debt, you may not be reconnected. And the government has taken it upon themselves to pay the debt. Please listen, to pay the debt. Now, it is not for those areas that have been vandalized, because even if it is connected today, there's some communities that will not benefit. Osisa will not be part of it, Afo will not be part of it, because their lines have been vandalized. It's only places like Ashaka, Ushi, Igugu that will be connected. Once it is reconnected, these are the people that will have light. So efforts are on to ensure that these bills are settled. The scoping for Ashaka, from KWALE to Ashaka has been done. The GPR also has been sent. And I know, and I also assured our leader that the council will pay to ensure that when KWALE gets light, those areas will be connected. Please, listen, now, even as council chairman, I raised the issue of my place. But apart from the lights, I mean the wires being vandalized, the transformers too, they are not cable, they also being vandalized. So those ones will come by way of second phase. Please, I want to plead that next time, those of us in position of government, those of us in government, once you call on us, we are ready to answer. Once you call on us that you want to discuss with us, we will make ourselves available. It's only when you have spoken to us, we are not making effort, we are not listening to you before you take your destiny in your own hands. This light, like I said before, it is what that will benefit you and myself. Having said that, I want to plead that the government of Delta State, the leadership of Ndokwa Nation, should be given chance. Just give us time, and you will see gradually how light will be restored to these communities. On the issue of security, I don't want to dabble on other areas. He has mentioned about kidnapping and cultism. I want to dwell on drug abuse. It is this drug abuse, all of us here, or majority of us here, should discourage it in our various communities. A lot of our youths are going off. Mental people are on the increase. Most of all these vices we are talking of is as a result of drugs, armed robbery, kidnapping, ritual, and so on and so forth. So I want to plead with us that please, you should have what we call implicit confidence in the political class. They are not just sitting idly watching. Something is being done to ensure that Ndokwa Nation maximizes the benefit of having these persons in government. Having said that, I want to thank all of us for coming, and please, let us share the issue of protest. God bless us.
A round of applause for Executive Chairman of Ndokwa East.
Let me start on already established routine. My own is going to come in a little kind of advice from my experience in my community, Ukwuani. December last year, His Excellency approved the purchase of 2.5 MVA. 2.5 MVA in Ukwuani, because the former one was vandalized. And the contractor came to site. At the time the contractor came to site, the high tension was intact. Before they finished installing that 2.5 MVA, about one span, 11 poles of high tension have been vandalized. Now, how can I go back to His Excellency to say again, please, Excellency, I need money to replace this high tension? I had to dip. After spending money to repair all the 500 kVA transformers, about 5 of them in the community, with my personal money. It's not part of what the government approved, but I had to do it for the community, because we've not had light for almost 12 years in our place. 16 years. My people are here. So now, before we finish, we spent 8.5 to replace that one span, which is about 11 pole. Before we finish that 11 pole, they've already vandalized 22 poles. You understand? So, excuse me please, because we as a community, we have a lot of role to play. Very seriously, we have a lot of role to play. My CDC chairman is here, he's not sleeping anymore. We have to now mobilize again. I can't go back to governor to say, our people, we need another. No, I still had to dip into my pocket and bring out money to buy those high tension wire, and they are replacing. By the grace of God, before the end of today, they will be done with that section. I put my CDC chairman, I said you will not sleep by 2 o'clock. They went to Abi, they went to Utwe, they went to Asian, all the community involved, CDC chairman, vigilante group, everybody. I said nobody will sleep until we have this light. Very important. So I'm appealing to our people. One thing is for government to provide this facility. Another thing is to protect them. Government will not come and protect the facilities for us. That's the major problem we have in Ndokwa. So I want to, even if you can see the effort, I've listened to the chairman of Ndokwa West, Ukwuani Local Governments, and Ndokwa East. They are putting effort. But I tell you, if they don't put adequate security in place, at the end of the day, even that 2 weeks, they will not even achieve it. Because our own is since December. Since December. The theft on these lines are just too much. And these people that are doing it, they are not that good, our people. They are our brothers and sisters. So security is the responsibility of everybody. Another thing is that we need to clearly define the line. The national grid is different from the IPP we are talking about. Because since His Excellency interview in our eyes, I've heard that they are no longer talking about light up Ndokwa. It's IPP that we are talking about to light up. It's not a one-day affair now. It's a federal government issue. That's why Honorable Zechi will be the one to talk to us about this very issue. But he has been on it for a very long time. So I want to encourage my brothers and sisters. Please and please again, like other speakers have spoken before, this government is our government. This is government of Sheriff Oborowere and Onyeme, the deputy governor of Delta State. This is the first time we are having this position. We need to, like our people will say, it's not because they said they want to protest, that is why people are putting effort. I'm just saying it, I want to put it on record that His Excellency has started giving this approval since last year. But like what I said, since December, by January we are done with the installation of that 2.5 MVA. Then we started repairs on the sub KVAs, 500 KVA, about 5 of them. They vandalized all. About 5. If I tell you how much I've spent on that issue, You will not believe. So if you love Ndokwa so much, you also contribute to your quota. That's the truth. So I want to encourage my brothers, the youth, please support the government. The government mean well for Ndokwa people. In fact, when we were in school the last time, when they approved Accra Road, the first time I heard that we have a project that is going to cost 2.9 billion. 29 billion from federal government, from state government. That's something huge for our people. Very huge. So I'm appealing to everybody, please, let's shelve the issue of protest. Efforts are being made by the political class to make sure light is restored in Ndokwa land. Let's support our political leaders. Let's work as one. And the CDC chairman, the PGs, they have a lot to do in this regard, so that we can be able to restore light to Ndokwa. The parts that don't have light, like Ukwuani Local Government chairman rightly said, there are lights in some part of Obiagwe, there are lights in Obiagwe, there is light in Avi. Ogume had light in 1991. Since 1991, that was the first time they had light. It's not like there was no light. So please, let's support this government. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you very much,
Your Excellency, ably represented by my dear brother, please permit me to stand on already established protocol for today, so that we can get the bill running, because there is already fast spent. I am not going to talk like my dear Commissioner for Urban Renewal. You can see the kind of influence of that is in him, and he's pained that we're where we are today, and all of us are equally very well paid. The truth is that Ndokwa land is a blessed nation, whether anybody likes it or not. That is the truth. Ndokwa land is a blessed, very blessed nation. As we speak today, I don't think that there is any community that has more oil congregation, oil companies, more than the KWALE as this community. There's no community in the whole of this country. I say so because the religion will tell us to count our blessings first before we begin to raise complaints. So in counting our blessings, we need to review what God has bestowed for us in Ndokwa Nation. Ndokwa Nation did not start today. We have been existing. No doubt about that. Will anybody argue that Ndokwa Nation of 2025 is the same thing as Ndokwa Nation of 2010 or 2015 or 2020? The truth is that along the line there will be some developmental space across board. We may not see them. They may not be enough for us, but clearly there are clear evidential variables that will tell us that something has moved from point A and is going towards point Z. I had caused severally to join some people in the social media to make some corrections from time to time. I take that as a responsibility of a government official from Ndokwa Nation, because I think it's very important for us to brief ourselves and debrief ourselves on certain happenings and occurrences within our environment. We must do that always. And that is why I feel so happy and glad today that we are having this meeting today. I'm not going to say this is the first meeting in history, but I am extremely very happy that the three chairmen have been able to put themselves together to be able to make us sit down with our people to do some explanations of what has happened in government and what is expected of us, and of course what benefits that we put our people. Take it out. So let's try and count our blessings. I recall that some time ago too, we had an opportunity to locate KWALE Industrial Park in KWALE community. The essence of that location of KWALE Industrial Park in KWALE community is because of the national gas grid that passes across this end up to Onitsha. And the government thought that it was important for us to impact positively on our people if we did the KWALE Industrial Park. And of course, use it as an opportunity to be able to galvanize the gas and find a way to step it down for the benefit of our people in the Ndokwa Nation. That is ongoing. And as I speak to you, I had to go through the office of the free zone. Let me also state very categorically that the KWALE Industrial Park is now a subset of the KWALE Free Trade Zone. In that free trade zone, as we speak, our 6 companies are almost partnered in that area. And that's why I keep saying that we are blessed. As I was coming here, I had to call the DG of the free trade zone to give me an indication of the companies that are already parting or intending to part in the free trade zone. And he gave me Eastern Metal. Eastern Metal is for steel production, and they already have their factory almost completed, and I understand that before the year runs out, government will do everything humanly possible for that to take off. We also have Zenergy Official Oil Field Limited, oil and gas and petrochemical. We also have 3 farms. It's on 3H farm. It's a power generation. We have Coral Energy. It's a gas processing. We have Blue Steel Energy, which is petrochemical, and we have Furnace. These are companies, 6 of them, that are already parting in the KWALE Industrial Zone, which is, of course, have been converted into a free trade zone in Delta State. It is not easy to have a free trade zone located in your environment. The benefits are numerous, but we will not see them today. But clearly, we will get to see them as the time gone by. Now, having said about the benefits which are clearly given to us by God, and then a little that we have been able to do as government from day to day, because government is a continuum, and so the government of Sheriff Oborowori is just 2 years old, but we cannot shy away from the responsibility of the whole governance of the day. I know, because I've been part of Ndokwa Nation for quite some time, I know the efforts that have been done to be able to step down the Okpai power into the Ndokwa Nation, such that we can no longer talk about releasing it to Onitsha and then to the national, so that we can step down with the Ndokwa Nation. I know the efforts that have been put in place. I also do know that at the point in time, we had a shared responsibility for state to do X and then for federal government to do Y. State has done X by making the payment for the right of way, and we have not been able to, as it were, to galvanize federal government to do the other part.
Please need to listen to this.
It is important that we slow down a little bit,
so that you can go back
whatever
and
agitation we are thinking about, because we just on the 28th of April fused the normal PDP in Delta State into APC in Delta State. The essence of that fusion, I don't want to call it defection. The essence of that fusion is to benefit from the federal government alliance with the states. We cannot just within 1 month of that fusion begin to talk about protest today. Because what it means is that we are now going to the map of the country as a violent community that ordinarily will not be able to have industrialization if the opportunity does arise. And that's why it's critical for us to thank the 3 chairmen for calling this meeting, so that we can understand the fact that just 1 month that Sheriff Oborowori's government has successfully linked to the federal government, and hoping that the dividends of democracy can now be expanded and enlarged. And we're already in Ndokwa Nation thinking about how to protest. If you are in his shoes, how will you feel? If you are in my shoe, I'm in government today, tomorrow I might not be in government. It might be you tomorrow that will be in government. But it's important for us to ask questions, and so that we can get some answers as we move on. I don't want to talk about vandalization of government facilities, because it's clear from the speech made by my colleague, the Urban Renewal Commissioner. And exactly as he espoused what has happened in Okume, that's exactly what is happening across the whole of Ndokwa Nation. We are not saying that it's only in Ndokwa Nation. It goes across the country. But the volume and the speed with which this happens in the Ndokwa Nation is of general concern to everybody. When I saw the bill of quantities that will be required to connect all these lines from Bede to Ukwuani to Ijobo to Amai to Gume to Abi and then back to KWALE to Ashaka. When I saw the bill of quantities, honestly, I marveled. However, just like was already pointed out by my colleagues, government has taken steps to ensure that that contract is awarded. I'm sure it has already even been awarded as we speak for us to get it done. But that is a government that has an listening ear, as it were. Where government that does not have any listening ear, he would say to us, it is not my responsibility to connect you to light. That's one responsibility that government has decided to take. So it is my prayer that we please tally a while and let us see what is vision between government of Delta State and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will have a kind of benefit for us in moving towards stepping down the Okpai into Ndokwa. I know that when they say light up Ndokwa, they are not bothered about BDC, those people who are trying to protest. They are bothered about the step down of the Okpai. We know all that very clearly. I spoke extensively with Franklin, who appears to be the leader of the protest this morning, for more than 45 minutes. And I said to him, I am not against any agitation. Indeed, there won't be democracy without agitation. But the agitation that we will try to always do in our environment is such that creates violence. Because as those who plan it, those who are sitting by the side who want to hijack the proper agitation of the people that will bring up benefit are also thinking about their personal pocket, what they are going to be able to steal within the period, how they are going to be able to cause mayhem, how somebody will now begin to seize the opportunity that one boy has taken my girlfriend. Today I'm going to kill him as we are protesting. Today somebody will go and take more drugs than he usually would have taken yesterday because he wants to go and protest. Today, tomorrow, insecurity increases along the line. And what happens to me and you? We become insecure. If you ask me today, the greatest problem of Ndokwa nation is insecurity. How do we no longer go to farm? What are we doing as a people? Are we helping the outside headers men to propagate more danger in terms of creating insecurity so that our people don't go to farm again? The Ndokwa nation is an agrarian society, and therefore most of the revenue that accrues to them, their feeding allowance comes from the farm. If they cannot go to farm, how will they be able to feed themselves and their family? For me, insecurity is extremely most important at this point in time. Light is very important, no doubt about that, but insecurity is most important, and therefore we must do everything humanly possible to ensure that we do not feed more gas into the insecurity that's already bedeviling us. And that's why at this point in time, all of us must say no to any protest, because it cannot help us now at all. It rather will bring us back, reduce government patience, and a lot of things will begin to happen to us negatively. This is the time for us to thank God that we are living. The time for us to be more patient and wait for this fusion between Delta State and federal government to yield some fruits or dividends. You know, before now, people will speak, and when they speak, they say it's a PDP man. And then even when PDP man is speaking the truth, the APC man is by the corner trying to look at undertones of what the PDP man is saying, so that he can now use it against him and use it to galvanize the people against the government. But today, it is no longer the case. There is PDP in Delta State, there is APC in Delta State, but as we speak today, APC, PDP in Delta State has become one. I'm not saying there are no remnants of PDP, there are. But those who matter in government are now in APC. And therefore the issue of chasing shadows will no longer be there. So now that all of us are one, please let us be one. Let us judge up and then take some questions and answers, and then we can then go back and find a way to harmonize our position so that at the end of the day the benefits of democracy to all of us. Our today is to ask all of us, our youths, our PGs, our national rulers, our government officials, to please find a way to talk to our youths. The issue of drugs, I don't want to talk about it, because as we speak today, Delta is like one of the greatest states where drugs are being abused in the whole of South region. I'm not talking about the northern region because we have always known northern region to be a drug area for a very long time. But the way we're imbibing it in Delta State is very serious. And that's why somebody will say it's a cultist. And you wake up in the morning and begin to think about to kill a neighbor who is another fellow cultist. But then the herders men are already in the forest with their AK-47 or whatever guns they are using. But we have cultism with all the paraphernalias of force and guns that they have in their possession. But they can't go to the forest to go and chase them away. But they are busy trying to look for somebody who took girlfriend, who took money to kill. Gentlemen and ladies, I think this is the time for us to be more enduring. This is the time for us to ask ourselves very serious questions. I don't think this is the time for protest at all. And I think I do know that there are general problems in this country. It is not only in the Ndokwa Nation, but I know that in the Ndokwa Nation cannot be said to be marginalized. Those were those days, but as we speak today, we cannot say so. I state this very categorically because I've been able to go through the nooks and crannies of this country. And I can tell you where it is worse in terms of development. Even in the southwestern region, there are some villages you go to, you will not believe it. You go to rivers, go to some villages in rivers, you cry. Is it Imo State? Even Anambra that is by the side. There are lots and lots of underdevelopments in this country. Could we have done better? Yes, we could have done better. Are we striving to be better? Yes, we are striving to be better. But it's important for us to see what we need to do, talk to ourselves, and then mellow down so that I keep repeating that vision between Delta State and federal government. Let us allow you see the light of day so that we can then move on from there. The people who are enjoying the oil communities within the environment, I know there is a PIA Act. There is a host element of that PIA Act. How are we utilizing the PIA host community allowances that is being given to us? Are we converting into development within our area? Because in the real sense of it, the restiveness in these environments are more than those in the villages. So when I hear cultism in Obiaruku, I hear cultism in Ukwuani. They kill 4 in Obiaruku, maybe they kill 6 in Ukwuani. Let us find a way to talk to ourselves and bring down the tempo, and let us not allow. I don't believe that those, unfortunately, who are clamoring for this protest are not Ndokwa people. They may be Ndokwa people, they might not be Ndokwa people, but to the extent that they are finding a way to agitate, to develop our people, I would think that they also have some little element of law. The way they are going about it might be wrong, but they have some element of law from Ndokwa people, Ndokwa land. That's why they are trying to call government to come together. I know that this meeting was already planned, not to even happen today. It should have happened far before now. But it is true, without they saying, that the rumor of the protest have gingered us to fast forward and then ensure that this meeting holds today. So the fact that we are holding this meeting today tells us that whatever intentions that those who are agitating, planning the agitation, had in mind has already been achieved by this meeting that we are having here today. Maru Kufuebus, we Fujiwani also. I know you Kufu de Venena Baroka. Who can't have body the Gagi winning man? Can we lead that in the Ukwuani Bankarima, Kalelozi? I don't want to talk too much, but I know my colleagues will still say something. But I conclude by saying that we should, as a matter of all reasonableness, as a matter of all logical reasoning, allow the fusion between Delta State and federal government to run. Because I know that my honorable representative, who is in Abuja, is now far more emboldened to talk to whoever is in charge of stepping down the offline. Because the state and the federal now are under the same umbrella where they can talk together. I thank all of you for listening.
Gentlemen and ladies, a round of applause for the Commissioner for Finance.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor represented, Right Honorable Member, please permit me to rely on already established. We have had all of us very, very well that the essence of this meeting is to interact with our people.
Hello, sorry. What's going on?
Interact with our people. Not just because of the intended protest. But because of certain things ongoing in the Ndokwa nation, therefore, even as I align myself with most of these points, I want to dwell on the compassionate appeal made by our leader, the Deputy Governor of the state. This is the first time we are having such a position. Therefore, we need to accord that office the needed respect. Of course, we are all Ndokwa people. Sorry to be personal, have lived in this town for over 30 years, and we all suffered the same fate. Therefore, if we had the opportunity, we would have even been in front of this protest. But one thing I must say we have achieved as a nation, that the government you want to call to come and address you on the 16th, the government is already here. That if you embark on that strike, on that protest, it is still the same set of people you will see, and probably a few people outside. So if our leaders, they have said, please, give us some time, we have set processes in place to ensure that we have light. My people who will have this light, I will not be running my soundproof again. You will not be buying diesel again. You will not be buying fuel, petrol again. So it is for our benefit. But then, as a government, as a very proactive government, the government did not start to work on this because they want to protest. They be proactive. So it's an appeal. And look, sorry to be personal again, I want to use my community as an example. I'm from Osisa community. My people would have embarked on strike, on protest yesterday, but we had a meeting and we said we don't want to protest. Don't go and block the expressway, because we had an ugly incident in 2009. Some can recall when we protested and we blocked the highway. When we went for fact finding, please. When we went for fact finding with the company that brought about the protest, we discovered that even indigenes were the cause. And what happened? When the youths came back, they started burning houses. People started running. Some died in the course of running. Not that protest is not good. It is good. But let it be very, very organized. And ensure that you follow all the required procedures before you begin to embark on any protest. On the final note, Your Excellency, we are appealing. Security forces are appealing. Because you see the security forces, they are just here laughing with us. If it gets to that day, they tell you, say you don't do, you know here you stone there, they fire you. If it gets to that day, they tell you, say take it easy. You say no, you want to collect a rifle. No person with rifle now want to see you collect it from him or her. So let us appeal to our people to still give the government some time, as we believe that the light issue is achievable. Thank you and God bless.
His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Delta State, heavily represented by Honorable Mbadigo, and our member representing Ndokwa Ukwuani Federal Constituency, Commissioner for Finance, Commissioner for Education, Commissioner for Urban, the Managing Director of the Superlec here present, and the capable chairman of our respective local governments that are also here with us. Security agency have been represented here. I recognize your presence on behalf of Ndokwa indigenes. I stand here to speak as the President General of Ndokwa Union, the apex socio-cultural, socio-economic body of Ndokwa Nation. I represent in this capacity to be the voice of the people on the subject at hand. It's a concern for all, but I must appreciate everyone present here. Short notice and our response to the call suggests that there is partnership. And I believe that is the only way to secure victory. Government, as far as I'm concerned, is a party that is constant in every engagement. And as such, you need government, I need government. But one thing, thank God one of the speakers have corrected that very illusion. In Lagos today, that's what they call resident identification. Meaning that even when you are from Ndokwa and you reside in Lagos, you have resident right to participate, to complain, and to even initiate engagement such as this. I want to believe that when there is any error anywhere, we don't use error to correct error. We must uphold respect for our culture. I've been following social media. I've been silent in some areas, but consulting behind. I didn't just come here. I am speaking on behalf of Ndokwa voice, or other voices. Royal Majesties, the President Generals, both youth presidents, and even CDCs. We had engagement a few weeks ago. All is targeted and geared towards achieving strategic engagement. The issue of protest, to the best of my knowledge, is lawful in Nigeria. But whether we like it or not, due process is part of engagement. No doubt, NNU will not just promote engagement to light up Ndokwa. NNU will lead in such engagement, even though it includes protests. I tell you, because by the grace of God, some of us have involved in national protests. But there are procedures to protest, which you cannot. The policy of first thing first is part of engagement. But one thing I must commend for the action we have succeeded so far is that in democracy, it's about the people. Democracy is about expression. Democracy is about complaint, including to push. And whether we like it or not, there is not only one type of protest. So don't think that until you come to the road, you've not protested. A letter writing can be a protest. Multiple expression on social media could be a protest. And I tell you, the engagement on Light Up Ndokwa took the space of the social media and has commanded attention. And that is the attention we are seeing today. Believe it, that the action initiated is yielding result, and work in that direction to ensuring that there is no and there should not be limit
to this push, but should be lawfully carried. NNU, as a body elected by the people of Ndokwa, will put eyes on this very discussion. And that is why I waited to hear the background of this meeting. And taken from the speech made by the chairman, you will agree with me that effort is in place to at least a minimum is to reconnect Ndokwa to the national grid. Because whether we like it or not, the delay was overdue. Whether you call it 5 years, whether you call it 10 years, whether you even say 16 years, who can stay with that power in the era of this generation? I doubt there is no family that lacks even a common handful. Everybody operates phone. And when you go to your neighbors to charge phone every day, then you're exposing your poverty to be the worst. It is not ideal. Therefore, Light Up Ndokwa is a good cause. Making this promise that yes, we are going to lead in this direction. But I tell you, especially from the point of collaboration, especially from the point of respect, and point of winning the heart of government, empathy can only be attracted when government feels that you are not motivated to disrupt, you are not motivated to destroy, you are not motivated to disorganize. But if it's about targeting to achieve for the people, I tell you, we have the right to do so and we'll do so. I want us to be calm. What I will request on behalf of Ndokwa is that government should please, as a matter of a show of commitment, today, this is a critical stakeholders meeting of Ndokwa Nation. Today we have positions such as Deputy Governor for the first time, if my memory remember right. We have for the first time also Managing Director from the Sopadek. It must not end in title. It must reflect in the developing of Ndokwa land. I'm saying this because opportunities may come but once, and it may repeat after a long time. Part of the ways to win the heart of government, part of the ways to win the heart of including the Deputy Governor, is to show regard for his office. Yes, he must have made a comment that you are not comfortable with, but there are better constructive ways to correct a leader. We are all leaders. You don't go about to abuse your leader and expect that he will still work in that same velocity to help you. Whether you like it or not, abusive ways will not change that office. And therefore, you must be strategic in your engagement to ensure that yes, the same person that said yes, we are making effort to ensure. Today is Tuesday, and if I remember correctly, there is a promise that the payment will be released even today, and it has been done. If the confirmation is true, what you should be asking is, how do we monitor to ensure that this promise come to reality? How do we monitor? Is to set up, like the Ukwuani chairman said, that there may be a delegation, which I call a committee. And then you have such committee to collaborate with any committee that will be put in place to be ensuring monitoring. Monitoring is part of enforcement. And the best way to do it, to use the people to monitor the people's project. So if you say you want to reconnect us 2 weeks time, I may even beg, let it be at mass 1 month. Because when you say 2 weeks, it looks like tomorrow. If Ndokwa will be reconnected first to the national grid in 1 month time maximum, there is a place for secondary push, for step down. You must be somewhere before you uphold the next level. And step down is not something you will say, I will remain here until you step me down. No. As a matter of fact, I had already engaged the House of Rep member in Ndokwa Federal Constituency on this same matter. He has also linked to say effort he has made, which he will say by himself. But I've gone further to even discuss with the chairman on the House Committee on Power on how NNU will pay a courtesy visit to meet with the Minister of Labour in ensuring this same support. Let me tell you, protest is one of the instruments that even those in power need, that the people must speak. I have learned in my trade unionism, somebody tells you, see fire, and there's no fire anywhere. Nobody believes that there is fire anywhere. Somebody is representing Ndokwa, both at the state level, both at the national level. Their own is to tell them what your pain is. And sometimes it may be necessary to express this pain on the road, to express this pain in government office, to express this pain in Ndokwa land. But I tell you, you cannot say Ndokwa is protesting when Ndokwa have not reported that protest letter officially to the appropriate authorities. It is when they fail, it is when they neglect, that is where you say the option to make them recognize Ndokwa is to go on protest. And that time I tell you, the entire president here from the clans, the entire youth president here from the clans, NNU will lead because they will all support, including traditional rulers. We pray for resources, and it must come to pass. So we are using this medium to appeal to Ndokwa, but most especially to our government, that opportunity like this is also an eye-opener. Because if there was no agitation online, I tell you, not all the efforts that have been put in place by government will be put in place in this country. I tell you. So I must commend the effort. I must commend the government. And like here, it has been corrected that it was not, a statement can be made. Interpretation will be required. So that you don't just run a full self-interpretation to mean that the entire people that are talking about this life are not Ndokwa people. I tell you, majority of those that have called for life up Ndokwa are the real participation. They are the real participants. They are the real residents. They are real indigenous of Ndokwa land. And that you must know that that statement did not generalize the entire Ndokwa people. But possibly a comment can be referred to one man. A comment can be referred to two people. But three or three. And once they say people, the interpretation will mean that you mean I'm not from Ndokwa, or that day you will see that Ndokwa people will gather. I am in touch, and I know why people are still pushing. But I tell you, these stakeholders is a medium. Because today, the security actors at the state level, at the federal level, they are hearing, especially from my own voice, stating on behalf of Ndokwa that we are going to engage due protest at the appropriate time when the procedure to engage government fails. But I pray that it will not fail. It is better, it is safer, it is sweeter to achieve development even without protest. Because collaboration means we can do it together. And if government is ready to engage with Ndokwa people to better Ndokwa nation, why would you be showing anger? So let us take this as we have registered our complaint. They have also shown effort that they are going to respond in the right direction. Right of residents cannot be overemphasized. Ndokwa people have right of complaint. Please, whatever you are doing that will create distraction is also anti-people. So now, the last thing I want to emphasize is to emphasize that vandalism, call it vandalization, is also inimical. Vandalization is anti-people. For you to fight insecurity, you must give sentiment. Because I believe in the theory that when you catch a thief, you treat a thief like a thief. And we must engage the principle of watching what belongs to us. So I want to beg, as they are spending money to reconnect if I listen to the local government chairman, they have even promised that those gaps that have been created by hoodlums, as they connect in 2 weeks or 1 month, they will further extend to replacing those wires and posts where it was so vandalized, to ensure that what is good for the genders is also good for the Jews. And at that junction, because I know very well that on the 15th, which is on Sunday, NNU will be inaugurating the standing and need committees. One of those committees, or 2 of them, include step-down power. And you will not also expect that the executive you have elected into office 3 months ago and are taking time for the first time in the history of NNU to establish 15 working committees that will partner with the executive in ensuring that we will not just monitor but to see how to collaborate with government to attract development. That tells you that we're inaugurating them on the 15th, and one of the master gear we are pushing that day is to tell the step-down committee with a period of time to give us feedback. That period of time is serving as notice. That period of time will also be serving as intensive period to achieve result. That goes beyond power to oil quantum. Whether you like it or not, Ndokwa is badly treated when you refer to oil quantum. Therefore, we are going to be calling on the need for disobedient law review to reflect the actual and the current quantum of oil production for the Ndokwa people, so that the development itself will be seen buoyant. Because one thing is to blame those in power. Another thing is to look at the available resources. It is when this law is amended that we attract the people's move. We are going to appeal, collaborate with Delta State Governor to do this for the people of Ndokwa as a way of showing commitment, as a way of showing love. Ndokwa mean well for this government, and in return, this government should also do well for the people of Ndokwa. I will leave it here because I may not discuss strategy in the open, but I tell you from the background, successes will be announced. Thank you.
Who have just spoken. Gentlemen, ladies,
Your Excellency, our dear leader, Deputy Governor of Delta State, my leaders here present, Ogemo, may God bless you. Ogemo, Ogemo. My MD, may God bless you. The PG of Ukwuani, the Honorable Commissioner for Primary Education, my dear leaders, Council Chairman, God bless you. The Security Agency here present, and our various President Generals, God bless you all. I am very happy to be here today. I am very, very happy. And I must commend the organizers. This is the very first time the 3 council chairmen of Ndokwa Nation are coming together to see and discuss. Assurance I will give us today is that light will come to Ndokwa Nation. The level we have gone, I may not go on and on to explain, but those of you who are following my activity at the National Assembly will know the effort we are making. We are not sleeping, because I know I was born and brought up from the village. I know the pains of the villagers, and I know what our people are going through. So by the grace of God, we'll be happy later. PG, you know, after talking and hearing your voice, a lot has been said. But the truth remains that even in National Assembly, even before open confrontation with the Honorable Minister for Power, I told them that Ndokwa is one of the major contributors of this nation's economy.
Yes, sir. But
today we don't have anything to show. The only thing we have is prison yard. Praise God. So the truth remains that even in Abuja, my speaker, my leader, Right Honorable Tangido Abbas, have told me severally that you love your people, that I should keep it up, and I shouldn't relent in doing so. Let me inform you that the little challenges in the 330, 132 kV line from KWALE here to Opai, the reason for the delay. Because even as it stands today, if Mr. President says go ahead and forget about the litigations and challenges, the work cannot also be done. Because why? The bulk and the supply of this transmission line is not yet completed. And that is on my second phase. But by the grace of God, I am a member of House Committee on Power. And it happens that one of my leaders, a ranking member from National Assembly, is the chairman, Honorable Victor Muguru. Of course, I'm not sleeping. Because if your gap be your gap, when you facilitate things, you need to be happy. Only that I can't be feeding you information on a daily basis. But few leaders are aware of everything I'm saying. Okay, more. It's aware. Okay, more, know what I do on daily basis at the National Assembly. And our foremost leader, the Deputy Governor, is aware. But I know that I will brief us in no distant time. Because I want to brief us when the contractor is back to site. I can't just call a meeting, no, not be so politician. I'm going to brief you very soon that you see the light, you see the contractors online. When I resume office, one of the major cry of Ndokwa Nation was carried out in the National Assembly through your son, myself. And by the grace of God, that motion was passed. And the correspondence in National Assembly, after your motions and bills, correspondence are sent out and sent to the agency concerned, the executive arm of government, for implementation. That I've done as your lawmaker. That I've done as your servant. And that thing which I've done is also yielding result. Just some weeks ago, or some months ago, a letter was sent to us from the Minister of Niger Delta, now Ministry of Regional Development, that yes, they have had a lot of things we have done. And what was that? The issue of amnesty. By the grace of God, people may not know the things we are doing to get amnesty officially approved, not by it, officially approved, that our people need to be part of it. Because we need to reward those that are calm. We need to reward those that are non-violent. Let it not be in the principle that only those that are violent are rewarded. Then on issue of right, by the grace of God, in the open place where they show me documents, where some Ndokwa people, those who say they love Ndokwa, you wrote a petition against a contractor just because of their little mistake. You wrote a petition. Now that matter is before the EFCC. It's before the EFCC. That is the stoppage of this very line. 330-132 line from KWALE here to Opai. That is the essence of it. Because why? That job was approved by the former president and was given an executive order. Go to site. But those processes and procedure were not followed. So because some persons who call themselves, some of them that are say diaspora, wrote a letter demanding for things. You are demanding for what you know that is the responsibility of the state government. State government has saddled with that responsibility to provide land for any operation of TCN, any transmission line. And I know my leader here, I know how many times he called under the former governor, Senator Ukwuani Local, and that money has been paid, but people still insist that they must settle them. They want to settle you for the lights. The day will come, you will know the enemies of Ndokwa Nation. That is my prayer. Now, to be frank with you, that work the contractor cannot go back to site if the investigations is not being done. To be frank, I was with EFCC chairman some months ago, the same issue. As you know, it's a matter inherited that we don't need to excise little patient until this matter is cleared. A county contractor, please go back to site. No, it's not done that way. Because TCN is afraid. What was the mistake they did? They just hear that approval has been given by Mr. President. But normal procedure of procurement acts, which you know that even when a president or a council chairman, when I went to approve executively, when I announced when I do, once you approve finish, you pass through the normal process for bidding, say okay, this one and other. You know, so some of our persons who are working with them, as I don't know this, and they use it against them. Today now, they will go and deceive people that there is no light and there is no light and they need light. The enemies of Ndokwa Nation will suffer. Amen. So make it remember. Finally, now the issue of IPP second phase. IPP second phase, if it's not completed, there is no way the 33 will be linked to. Because that is the only source. It is not designed in such a way to link it to phase 1. Phase 1 is already been captured. And in phase 2, which Saipan has handled for many years, is 87% completed. All these informations I'm giving you are vital informations. They are real informations that in course of our report and our investigative motions, they send the report. As I'm talking with you in the next couple of 2 weeks, we'll be visiting IPP because there are things they need to do. Saipan have told us their level, and IGPAS are there. They had some issue with Saipan, and Saipan angrily left the site. And that place now, 87, just how many percent remaining to be commissioned? Now it is not yet completed. Out of the 44 towers from KWALE to KWALE, 20 towers have been erected, remaining 14 towers. As I speak with you, the 14 towers are already in IPP. So light will come. There is a great hope, there is a great future, that our tomorrow is better. And I know for those agitating, say let there be light. They don't love you. They don't love us more than we love Ndokwa Nation. Forget about some people who enter position and they will forget where they stand from. It is not in our DNA. All the leaders here, you know the antecedents. I'm from a very poor background. I am bold to say it anywhere that I'm from a very poor background. So that reminds me and gives me consciousness that yes, you need to humble because nobody knows tomorrow. So if by way of God's blessings that you are voted or you were elected or you saw yourself in a very prominent position, you must remember your humble beginning. So I'm telling us that those who are championing, shut it down or do that, or do it up or do it down, that they don't love us, they don't love Ndokwa more than we love. we love Ndokwa. Like the PG said, we need to be calm and follow procedure. We have one umbrella body in Ndokwa nation. Wasi Kube Bamuzokena. Even though I'm a man of God, I will say it. I'm very grateful and I'm very glad that please, PG NNU, you have a lot of work to do for us. Today now, you know how everybody supported. God gave you the victory through leadership. Therefore, the issue of light, I was telling somebody, do you expect him to come out to say, oh yeah, I'll make my shot down. I don't want him there. I'm going to just take some video. And so I think I'll tell you. Now the people they protest. Because when they talk, you need backup at home. Yeah. But if you want to do that, it must be togetherness. It must not be in isolation. To say because you want to be sending money. Some people started sending me account. Some say they go for mobilization. Due to a mobilization of what? Are we going for any sharing? You say make we mobilize. So if you go now, you will take my money and put it in the pocket. You say you want mobilize. So be very, very careful and be very, very brave. Because people are using this opportunity to also gain money for themselves. Not just the interest of Ndokwa. Some of them are also leaders. Some of them are chairmen of their community. What have they done? Oh, wait about the book over there because you can love Ndokwa. May Holy Ghost fire them in Jesus' name. So I want to round up by thanking all of us, thanking the security agencies. Like my brother said something. Honorable Commissioner for Urban Renewal. We are, some of us, not we all, some of us are enemies to ourselves. Do why I say some of us are enemies to ourselves? You cry for government for development. Development will not come. Critical infrastructure, you stand up because you need money to vandalize it. I remember in them days in my village of Bai, when wire pass from KWALE, from Pondu, 33 line to that place. He reached one night, we stand for where they see put the 4 for night. And that time we not take monkey the village. I said, I put the 4, which is the we go down here, boom. As you hear that, we not know that they use this axe. And you get, Ukwuani Local. So when wire 4, I said, I breeze. Okay, breeze is not there. And you know that time we would high well. With monkey spirit, we enter the this. Make we see where Paul the also. Before we reach there, now our people there. I say, well, what did they do to it? Also point, sit down the champion. Sit down the champion. Before we look, how many people went me and I follow go launch the attack? One say, okay, no, just free them now. You see, okay, you will sign out different part of these people. Meaning, we must stop those levels because it is barbaric, it is satanic, it is demonic, it is suicidal because God will not forgive you. How can government bring something to your area? You are now using your hand to undo yourself. Tomorrow you complain on security agency. They won't kill themselves. I mean, they don't get families. Somebody will complain. If now where police in UK, and if anything happen, I say yeah, na UK. Nigeria na UK. So when you want to monitor the policeman when DPO went down to finish work, make you go rest. Then you go come there for by road. They tell where that put one for. Now ask people say, this is our place. Now UK it is. And let us be sincere. Now here na UK. When they work for UK, they work here. When everything camera, this one, they have a standard. We are just trying to learn. And by the grace of God, we'll get there one day. Amen. So make a number now. Let us not be used by any group of persons. Under the leadership of Sheriff Oborowere, this is the very first time I want Ndokwa sons now occupy such position. All we need is PG and his team and the council chairman. So can say, what do we need to do? We support him because the more you support your own, you are supporting the government. Indirectly, the government will see love. Today now, okay, they might know how they fought. They approve over a million billion. It has never happened for one community. The community get oil. See, my community will get oil and gas. My father this thing, oil did there. Backyard, oil did. We get that food. Now collaboration. How you package yourself. So please, I'm begging all of us. Okay, well, today now is the father of government. From government to government. And that is my prayer for you. You will never retire. You will never retire. So make a number now. Make a number now. Short down. Now me first and go to separate. Today now is the MD of the separate. When they give a MD, now somebody comes. Say, Nana, how you did? I say, fine. No. He said, yes, they give him Ndokwa West MD the separate. I said, so now me they won't give him before. They won't give me, I dey find the separate MD. So make a number. I'm sharp. Anchor, one voice. Anchor, one voice. We speak with one voice. We have 38 clans in Ndokwa, Ukwuani Federal Constituency, and we speak with one voice. Where we say we are going, that's where we are going. And it is spelling us. This vandalization is happening in our own communities with president generals. Yeah. And we complained before. Such a project, let the president general of that particular community know about the project. Anything happen to that particular project, you hold the president general responsible. The youth, after this meeting, there's going to be a joint meeting between the president generals. Hello, we are going to have a joint meeting between the class president generals and the youth forum. So myself, being the overall chairman of the PGs, I would like to speak with the leader of the youth, so that leader of the community youth will have a voice and have one common meeting to address the issues our leaders are discussing. Because we are the community, and anything happening, all fingers are going to the community. All fingers are going to the community. Our line, we are talking of light now. This area is just like London, where you come to our side. Our Mushi, riverine areas. By now, no longer motorable. Nobody will see motor until December 2025. But high tension power, passenger commission, pass at our back. All our farmland were taken. But we never allowed any of our youth to go and touch any pool. We painted a limit, time shall come. We can't blame our forefathers for coming inside the water to come and live because of longer toes on fish. Let us live there. So, as we are begging them not to protest, you go for the upland again should also, all the president generals, please come with your youth, not to damage the one that come to. You are talking about transformer now. Let them bring transformer come to riverine area now. Where they will pass? Where are they going to pass to come and give us a flood will come and carry transformer? So, protect your area. When we have the guy joint meeting, I'll tell them. So the leaders, I thank you for coming us together, chief for visiting. I thank you for recognizing the president generals. We speak with one voice. Any other thing you want to do, pass it to one of us. When we call a meeting, no need to say, Ndokwa East come and talk, Ndokwa West come and talk, Ukwuani come and talk. We speak with one voice. Understand me? We speak with one voice. So please, those of you that want to go and protest, you should not protest. That's the summary of everything we are talking about now. We don't need any protest now. Even if I am having 5 children, one will come.
and begin to protest with me, I would not even send it to primary school. Because I said, this is a protest is the name of this, my son. I don't know the person resemble. Maybe my wife resemble. You understand? I will not take him serious. So no protest again. You share that? Thank
you. My honorable leader, sir, permit to start with this protocol. My name is Servant Comrade Praise Ndokwa West. I am the secretary of Ndokwa West Community Youth. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the initiative. This is the first of its kind. And mine is very brief. I want to call on the three local government chairmen, and especially an House of Rep member. If this kind of a meeting has been regular, I am very sure this line of agitation would have gone to this level. I also want to call on the office of the PG in Ukwuani Group, and I want to appreciate your speech. It was all encompassing. We listened carefully. You selected your words carefully. And I want to say that please, rule of engagement is very, very important. We are the youth. If we say we are protesting comes with different dimensions. And I'm very sure that we have already protested. Of course. Because if you look at what has happened in the social media, just like the PG commented, we already protested, and our leaders have heard us. The next thing is that we should follow the protest to the bottom line to ensure that it will be result-oriented. So we are appealing that there is need for we to be engaging ourselves regularly. It's not just enough to call this meeting local government by local government, community by community. The current PGs are here. So we are saying, please, let not end in just sweet talk and beautiful English speaking. Let it end with a result. So at the end of the whole day, we'll be part of history. Thank you and God bless you.
Please, because of our media people here, I want to beg our people to stand with the established protocol. Of the truth, there are many cause going along, even all the communities, all the community youths. But because of the unity we have as a community youth members, when they will call me, I said, don't. Because the community youth of Ndokwa Nation and Ukwuani has agreed to partner with the government. Because of partnering with government, if we start to do things without the presence of government, it has effect. And number one, like what I have just said, if the community youths want to take any action, we should consult our leaders, and they should be on the background to know that this is what is happening. We have embarked on many protests. We are going to protest in Sterling Global, then we go to protest in CCC, we go to this, we go to that. And before you protest, it's not about the protest, it's all about what is involved in the protest. So we have gotten a lot of experience in protest. A protest just like you want to open a Greek fowl in the cage. Bringing them back inside the cage becomes a problem. But under a second, you can open the cage and bring all of them. But to put them back in the cage, you may end up even putting your hands in the foul sheet. So for that simple reason, like what my last guy just said, we want to sincerely appeal to our leaders. Two, because sometimes the community today are calm because they are mature youths. They will tell us, are you not too mature for the youth? Yes, we are mature, but we are the community youth leaders. The community leaders is somebody that can discuss with the youth and still go back to the leaders in the community, the chiefs, the upper and liaise with them in a very matured way. If it's something that 22 years old, 23 years old, they are abnormal. But before you become a community leader, you should be matured. Know how to talk to elderly people and know how to manage the younger people too. That makes you a qualified community youth leader. If not for that, if we leave it for only the younger people, you will see where they will be molesting even the old men, telling them because they are giving them power and listen. That these promises happening today will not to pass. Because after the promise and they didn't fulfill it, they become the jamboree. So we are begging our leaders, pleading to them to make sure that all these things should be done so that at long run we thank all ourselves and thank God for the beauty of Ukwuani Light. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you, President. I salute you. Our dear Chairman of the 3 Ndokwa Local Government Councils. Indeed, I am humbled by the efforts made by these 3 chairmen to pull this meeting together. It is one of its kind that we have ever experienced over time. The assembly of persons I am seeing here are indeed wonderful persons. I have one simple message to pass to our people, and it is the message of an appeal for calm. Let us be calm. The message is for us to be taking this, using a peaceful approach to get things done. Yes, 1 or 2 comments may have angered us for the past 48 hours. Am I correct? We need to allow those things to go so that we can move on. You can't achieve anything with that. Even like I said, protest is even on now. I follow the social media. I stay into the night and I know what people are saying. All of us, if you count everybody here, half of us are angry. Even if you remember, I'm not an Ndokwa man. I'm appealing to all of us. His Excellency has asked me to appeal to everybody to be calm. The protest, like this, is our right to protest. It is your right to protest. But how you go about it is what we are talking about. It has to be properly moderated in a way and manner that hoodlums don't hijack it. That's why I am thanking the 3 chairmen for doing a very good job. I'm also thanking the VG of the Ukwuani Community for the wonderful speech. Without losing sight of what my leader here, okay, for the team of professionals also told us here today. That's why we invited our security agencies here. Look at, they are not looking at football, they are here working in our federal constituency. They will do their job. Don't allow us to be used. Nobody allow us to be used by anybody. Me, I cannot be used. Of a truth, our youths are not happy that we don't have light. Let us be very frank to ourselves. Nobody is happy that we don't have light. But the truth remains that we need to give it the right approach so that this thing can be done. I am a youth like you. I'm privileged to be aware of some of these things that are going on. It is just a rare privilege. As we speak, the contractor that will handle the national grid aspect of this light in Ndokwa has been mobilized. This morning, he has been paid. I can tell you for free. Now, if that is done and light is restored between now and the next 1 month, the only task you and I will have, including my dear high-profile leaders here, is how to work with our brother at National Assembly to see how this IPP will be stepped down in the Ndokwa nation. Is that not true? Yes. That is the major thing I will have to do. Because even this period arrangement that we're having now, to me, is a temporary solution. Temporary solution. That will give us light for now, so we can imagine that one. But the end thing, the major thing that we need to achieve is the step down of the IPP. And His Excellency Deputy Governor and Sheriff is the boss and our leader in the state. They will collaborate with the federal government to ensure that that is done. And so while we are doing that and pushing all this, we need to calm. We have to be, please, give these whole issues the right approach. We need to manage our comments, because you don't build a house and destroy it. These are our leaders that will hold on the very highest thing. I can see the Dean of Constant here, even Namdi, he's as young as he is. We need to also respect him. Look at the MD of the over there. These are offices that the Ndokwa ministers have not occupied before. Today they are here, sitting down with us, without you going to look for them. And so we should also learn how to manage our utterances and ensure that when you are talking to your leader, you will know that after passing, after canvassing your view, pushing through your view, you will see meeting at home after the entire scenario. Economic way. Now, I'm going to be because you don't know when you will be can't be good on the man. If I'm not trying to win, I'll be back at all. By the grace of God, who better not be moved anytime from now. I don't know she and I don't need so. Or sign and child this. Follow K. Can't cuckoo. K1 and Tribal K. IPP. Now they will say yes. And I didn't use a girl and they dying man. I'm going to look at it. And they come to well. They get money, chairman. Shut
Ukwuani Mbelenyo nwenye koma kene di na goshi na ekpete onye enyi odofeka bụ buzo mma bụ nwanyị ya bụ ka onye ka ọdụ n'ime Ukwuani Local Government ozuzu wezu nikete ndị kpọkụmenwe n'Igbo kpọkụmenwe ozuzu kene bụ ndị Local Government ya bụ Local Government eto dị n'ime anyị Ukwuani Ndokwa West Ndokwa East na Ukwuani Local Government ọ bụ fumarwe anyị kese kpaluka banye ife mmiri n'ebe nikete bụ ambebigoro kpaluka akụnụ nka gwa ya so wọrọ na kenu Ukwuani ka gwasị Ukwuani efa ya chairman aje Ukwuani nne yo
Ukwuani Mbelenyo n'otukwa be osajaje njobo fene boade anyị bekereze kero anyị kekire kparuku osa ikpala dị na Ukwuani kende ezeze anyị nekero sonucha ikolobia shushu Mbelenyo umofu marishegwa
biko ka debe fai
fambo possible Solomon ajede ebe fam
ozuzu wezu nikete mkpumkpu fekunu ukwu nikete bụ unu na-asụ oyibo ọsụ na-agba asụ ndị Ukwuani esele nchọnike wụlọ ọnụ Ukwuani kọwani ọsụ Ukwuani ife mee n'ebe nikete
yes mbene my brother de okwu oyibo no ya masị le ndị bịa na nede kende ụkwa akwụkwọ iju ole imebel so if I obviously na so ibele no we can now understand it but ejoku if I ba maru na mena bụ or the sort of na gwande kenyi ele government no na ga ifu erufunu ke ife no ere baro na gwashiwe she mkpokpu ife na yerufunu kende dị ni pipeline we nwike mari ne nwenika na arụ mgbotu ife mgbotu ndị kenyi because we are married when you can accuse the government wrongly. So I need to kokuru ni male kokuru ne kusu. She can ye gwakumo e. Osa PGs dey ne Ndokwa nation or the 3 local government area, Ukwuani local government, Ndokwa West local government, and Ndokwa East local government. Osa the PGs dey never get. Osa the youth community youth bodies dey never get. Osande go to the Ishenyi na-achị otu dịta bebe dị n'ebe negete ndị youth council dị n'ebe negete ndị polisi ke ndị amị ọsọncha dị n'ebe negete ọsọncha ekpokuru n'ebe negete so anyị na-achọ ka anyị kwe mara oberu echi ụmụ anyị dị na-ekwu okwu chụọ ejekeji agbakwe gaa n'obodo dịta bebe particularly Kwale n'ebe na-eke obi arụpụrụ si wee nwee ukwe anyị na-etechi ụlọ eri shi ọsịfa anyị na-arụ maka n'ebe ukwe kene n'oge ganene anyị dị gwanawe ọkarị gachi igochi enyi amara wa ife na ahụ ọ bụrụ si wee nwee information si gọọmenti dị na-eti enya ka anyị ukwe wee nwee information si dị gọvanọ dị na-asọpọtụ ka anyị ndokwa ndị ya wụ mkpokpo ndị dị nwe ukwe wee nwere ukwe n'onwe ole bụ ndị nwere ukwe bụ ndị nri nwe ukwe ka ọ bụchụkwa bibel wee kwesịwere ofu kwa akpọ IPP anyị welechi ochie onye nọ na-achị ndị dị na Abuja bụ Nnamdi Ezechiwe shaba gwawa ele okwu step down n'ụdị n'okwu step down nụ jashiwo bụ mgbotife ndị anyị na-afụfe na-ekwu bụ dogwabịa jaji anyị dị menelenu wa mariwa bụ ya mara ọchị elenu wee mari nwere adị na-achọkwa dị na-ememe mgbotife ọ ka gaba ba ime mmelenu ọ dịgasị anyị enwe leadership na Ndokwa nation anyị sarwa ihe onye lele ọrụ mme dị na-ememe ndị na-eje zukwu dị na-eje ka ndị na-ekwusi eje ka protest dị na-protest ọ dịgasị mmadụ anyị ndokwa so ife anyị ndị kansụl chairman dị meni kwụsị anyị ka dị anyị kwụsị anyị ka nọdị gbame ka anyị kpọkpame mmarụ ndị dịgasị na-achị obodo dịta bebe ka agwawe na maka n'okwu kpe ife anyị rụfụgara ife gọọmenti rụrụ ma ọ dị eziokwu ebe anyị dịkịta na bụchi ka ọsa ndị bodi nwe ukwe ime Kwale na osa ife ni ga shiwe ke wole kwe connect chi Kwale ni the national grid ya bu kenu akpo national grid we osife na adu ni pipeline ke Ogumo ke Ukwuani o ke Utagbo no ke Asaka o nenu di nwukwe ke bedei o ka bede no ijopo no ijopo ni shikenwe umukwato no akụkụ no osanenu di nwukwe ke nenu di ashin shwe dita wena pusa umuta ekwo dita bebe ogborogbe dita bebe no na pusa kofu no imokwane did ke she pole adi ruebe ayi na chachi ya kan na gwawe ifa yin na ro ke pole ruebe nu maka ni nebe maro de kuno wachi imokwane no ebe no ndegira okwu ejopo be aga ne umukwato no ni beru akụkụ no osife na ba na ego di machine n'igwe bo ikuchi ka anyị nọ na local government ka anyị chọọ sego na ban ka anyị rụa ife ke di igwe so ya ka anyị mane kpọ ndị no wen ndị BDC na arụ ọrụ na ememokwu kpe na arụ ọrụ we neta woleri si na ego je ka ban ana anyị weri woleri preliminary report weri je ni government onye bụ utilije receive woleri from us ya dị na when I buleshe ya na deputy governor ebuleshe ụlọ saa report now keke bịakọ Kwale keke jeko ejiọnụmụ na amayo ke ọsa ebe nọ anyị nọ anyị ni nwukwe na mwe ọsa report na dị na ka ya na deputy governor ekpoleshe ụlọ eri weri je the commissioner of power and energy and we na ememe ife na ka ọ ga n'udo anyị ekwuola ishe nwata ogeberu anyị na fukpe na mba anyị ukpere nwuru na Ndokwa onye bụ Nnamdi Ezechi ekweshiwere ụka kenye elu na arụga na okwu step down fọdụ nke wele oge kene ndị kenyi ndị rụtachi n'ọrụ dịta bebe nọ na ya rụ n'oge bido n'ine n'oyibe kwuola eche journal of 1,000 miles begins with a step when shike nwe echi onwelele ka onye te n'okwu step down nọ bụ ndị kenenewe ọdara dịkechi warụ ashire ụka kewe ndị kenechiwe porque kita na kira Nnamdi Ezechi ya dị ebu ọrụ ke ọgwatachawala ele ụmụta ife ndị gan nebenu onye ndị ekpeta onyo nna na unu nebele churu oge ofu ekpeta una fashife Nnamdi kwuri n'okwu the IPP porque national grid anyị na ajachu n'ime ya ka ọ kọnechichi onweri n'obodo dịta bebe nọ na-ekwechi okwu kwe nwe ya private generation ya bụ na na-ebido gas turbine ụmụsa dịga n'ebe na-ebido woleri anyị na-agwachi ndị mba anya ndị ụmụsa adịghị kọmuniti ego eji na-achọkwa ewere imeme ifere n'ụba ego zuru eni na ego oye we na-akwụrụ obodo dịta bebe sa anyị na-agwa mba anyị dịta bebe ndị anụ nweta na oye n'obodo wee chọọ biko chụọ chịrị fọma n'iwe chelachi fọma memele ụmụsa adịghị nọ na-ememe okwu ndị anụ na-adị debere nwata izi n'ofu marụ ofe ka akwa ka onwunwu ọsa macha onye na-egbata ke na nna arụ ya ka obodo bara ya kpụrụ ọnụ kpọdụ na-agwa nụ si Ndokwa weke witness mkpokpo ifeọma je ka bịanị na anyị ebiro ofe anyị ndị kansụl chairman kwunichi wacha nye ka nọdị n'oke gbara nọdị n'ụlọ kwechi ewu amụrụ deme bụ ewu nne m lere ogbono onye na-enefe anya ya chere bụrụ anyị na-ekwuchi ka anyị provide leadership and direction and thank God ịnọsa ndị bịara ebere kete ndị Ndokwa mụ na wekparị n'ụka tilijewe wakparị wọrụ karị eberu deputy governor egbu ọzọ ojeni o jiri weri marụ bịa wakparị ụka anọsọ ncha na-ekwuchi ọsa ndị ụmụ anyị nọ na-achọkwa eje protest chue biko chue nọdị wesala okwu protest ihe na ọsifue na-achọkwa eje protest anyị arụfụlarị kwere ije kede protest wee nọdị a kwe wele nye akirie na agwụwachi bụcha ụmụ n'ife ndị nọ na disturb wee approach gọọmenti gọọmenti kene ọnda sherif oboro were wee anyị nụnụ malokwu ịgwa wee anụ ịgwa anyị dị n'ụlọ anyị anụ ọsa ndị leaders anyị nwere na egbata kene ọsọ ncha ịgwa okwu anụ eleru ka ọ dị obodo nọ ni aje n'ogbuji
aje egeda na ọkọwa ni onye nije na eje ka amarị onye inu na eje ka amarị anya anụfu gedawo kete onuzu n'ozuzu kene mkpomkpo kuku n'okuni onwonde kuni shi 2 weeks time shukpe na be belu izuka nebe shukpe na enwuro foto shi obelu ofu ọnwa shukpe na abe enwuro ife wesa na ọsa okwu na abụ shi ụmụ anyị kuni shi eke ya agbo gene ọ bụrụ ụmụ anyị kuni shi eke ya agbo gene oyiwo m so na kaba beba akparo ka kenyi kete bo we make me for make me adunje ka ju ni ekpebe n'obochi ọ bụrụ si oge belu ndekwu ni shi 1 month ndekwu ni shi ọnwa ise ndị kwunishi izuụka ndebe oge belu bụ alụ na ya bụ unu ekushi ya bụ ụmụ anyị jechachi we ya agba ogene nuka baba agba ogene nuka aje enwene m
aje brother ife bene na-ele na-eti okwu na ọ na-agaba igwe bụ eziokwu ị na-eleri o nwere n'ụzọ enwere ego m ụzọ n'ọgwụrụ elenu na-adị ele anyị na-ezumiji nke na mkpokpo opinion ka ekushi ihe esichi weje ke protest ya shina ya na arụ a bụ eziokwu weshi ọbụchi je ka ugwu awụsa ofu stepụ kweji na Ndokwa lebel ele ife ndị nọ na-aga n'ime obodo Ndokwa na ya chere bụrụcha anyị kwuru shi ya bụ anyị ji nisara ụmụ anyị ihe kwee ji na-egbu okwu protest banye agwa na weli ife de ya bụ uche dawu n'elu so yes okwuchi esechi protest ya chere anyị pụsa onye kwu n'elu ekwu jachire bụ eziokwu ife chere anyị pụsa gara bụ anyị bịara ka anyị brifu gara ndị keji ka anyị gwawa elife de ya nụọ ele ife na anyị discuss n'ebe na okwu okpe isoka discuss anyị ekwu okwu security anyị na-arụ dịka Ukwuani na-agwa ụmụ si ebe mmadụ dịka na ọwachi onwe onye kpokpefe na anyị na-arụ n'okwu security bọdụ kwụ nsafụ gara kekuni eziokwu ndị kpokpo ndị kpanụ ka n'ebe na-ekwu 2 weeks wekwu 1 month ya nụọsụ oge onye bụ kọmishọna Anọka Michael Kpalashinoka chiadị chike nwee kwụ onye ogume okpago ogume okwuo chi oge ogume neberichi ogume ngwukwe ọ dịbịa na bịa dekwuru onye bụ gọvanọ anyị bụ Sheriff Oborori right honorable chi abiko chatụ na ya ka nekwe wuru kpebi ogume Sheriff ni chike nwe bụ awa gọvanọ arụme bịa approve chingwe weda etie ife kata nkuku na okwu kpenu bụ MVA de transformer bibifuni so de wele dọrụ demere wedị na ịchọkwa arụ akwetie ndị ka enye bido na ezuru ke polo ke kebụl wedi osukpe waba arụta pol adịwa kebụl adịwa wedi jeriri polu n'ego so ife na-achọkọ ọkọsọ anyị manye karịọ ndị ka enyi ya ka ewusa m okwu vandalism ndị nọ na-ezu na-edestroy properties Ndokwa ayoru gọọmenti bido gburu ife wee bibife anyị karịọ weswe biko elenu anyị kwuteni n'ebe nu si nwata oge merukwe na bịa ife nanụ je ka akparukwe bịa mmadụ ejiri zule were kwuchi gọọmenti a na-arụka bụ ndị anụ nọ na-agani nọ na-eje na-edisivu ndị ka enyi sweda protesti anyị na-arịa shiwe biko ego ndị eji na-anụ edu ndị ka enyi sweda protesti against gọọmenti wee were develop Ukwuani ka anyị na-agwawe shiwe biko so ife nna chọkwu nkwa anyị na-enwe bụ my brother eziokwu ekwere ekwufue beru that period na ukpe ndị ụchọchị nọbịa because everybody dey ready for it gọvanọ dị na-arụ eke the deputy gọvanọ na-arụ eke onye wuchilijewe na-arụ kewe onye bụ Anọka kwuo ife rọnị mmadụ dị na bebe dị na-arụ ndị kansụl chairman dị na-arụ onye nke na-arụ so na anyị na-achụghachi wee onye nke ya rụ na onye na-eme ke ya mgbeni n'ọrụ kene so ndị obodo wee kwụkwụma ife kwee continue to protect our property ya ka anyị na-ekwu mmadụ ejiri tikpọ ife obodo n'itikpọ ife obodo ọkadịna dịkachi anya mmadụ ife anyị na-arụ aka anyị na-eji su na-eji azụ na-ete egwu fijọkụ arịọ ka anyị na-arịọ bụ nje ka kwakeme ma brọda achị eziokwu okwu kena anyị na-ekwu n'ebe na anyị abịa na chikaba kpọmbi ka disivu Ndokwa ndị mmadụ na amarịkwele onwecha apụsakele m bụ ma apụsakele ma jụọ ajụjụ ndị nọ dịta bebe anyị ajụtawọrị mara elife nna dị bịa mara ife gọọmenti wetie keme onye ndị nọ na-ekpekpere dị na-ekpe ke ndị wepụrụ anyị n'obodo ndị wepụrụ anyị n'obodo osife na nna ga zeze nekene unegwe aje
mbene chema mbene na ọkọwa ọsụkwa na anụ onye ọbụla enwe chinife oke ekwu ya dewusecha in the comment section
ya dewuse elenu
chairman anyị bụ social media man
eziokwu
ọ dị na-abịa social media na afọ ife na-ede
elenu bụ nwere okwu anyị elofechiri maka ekwu ego nwata n'okwu security na mkpokpo malụ na-ajụ acha jukenu site n'okwu security dị anyị na-arụ ọrụ okwu security anyị mkpụrụ ikpokpofe na anyị na-eme anyị ndị ije ka igwe bụsepụ ụfọdụ na-agwanụ sokwu na awụsa dị n'ugboko n'eberi anyị gọvanọ anyị ejeri security meeting very recently ikpokpofe ka discuss n'ebenu anyị eke dịtọsụta ife na n'okwusa ite mbala na-ekwe n'ime social media anyị gwute wa tụtụrụ nwata kpọọ ife nye karịọ ndị ka enyi iji na ifu ife ya ekwubuse ka anyị nwoke gwachi ndị security kwee mara ebo ede na anyị na-arụ ya anyị na-edeploy na-egwa ndị mmarụ na-agwa ndị security chiwe nekume ụgbọebenu anyị na-arụ ogu bụ ọsa suggestion wee na-edeme ke ndị wee demete n'ime ekwete nye ndị ahụ anyị na-arụ ọsọ ncha anyị nwechiwori platfọm anyị na-ememe mgbodife na-ediskọsụ anyị na-arụ wee gbọm ka kwesịrị biko otu enwe nwata ndidi na anyị ka zakpọ ọsọ ajụjụ wajụ marụ n'okwu sekuriti n'ime ebenu ndị dị kechi wachọ na ka ife ndị ga wedashiwo ndị kenyi nọ na-ejechi na-eso ndị awụsa ndị na-arụ wee kpokpuru n'ime obodo gbakpọsị ife ka anyị ga-ekwubise anyị kwubisela n'ọdụ kachi anyị enwe ife anyị na-ezube ụnarịọ na akpọ n'usoro biko na-enwe biko na enwe n'obi mara na-eche ijekere anyị bịa na anyị na-asavụ kwana anyị ma masavụ anyị ekwunechi anyị ma mgbe lead kwana we are servant leader we will continue to listen to you and continue to do what you want us to do. We will make the farm area anyị na-ememe ka ọ dị nwata free ke mara pụkọlọ n'ebe ke ndị iwe na pụkọlọ ke ndị ka anyị bejecha ogo anyị na-arụ anyị anọgoro chiwori neighborhood watch n'obi arụkọ anọ yi the good result and the neighborhood watch na-arụ everyday ndị amarụ nna bịa na-achọkwa sabotage a gbara anyị shụwa elerụ ka anyị ga-establish ya n'obodo dịsa bebe de me ndị aja chikecho n'ukpoko ife na anyị arụmite ụlọ eri ejoko wee nna ya abanye na eji bụ bikoni abụ ụdị channel nke were ye onu ife na ọ bụchọ nwere ife ụnụ chọnụ kụnụ marị bikoni jeburu ọgwụ n'ọgwụ na-ewe jeburu kwuru ose n'ukwe na akpala ịgasa anyị adịkwa ilu ife na-adị odogo abịa jaje Ishegwa
aje chairman ọkọwa okeke na anyị na-ekene ya ọsụkwa na eshim anyị kenegide anyị kelofone ya amọsọ onye na-alụ n'ikwu agwachi ya gide ka oji anyị na-arịa isi lụkụmasị mkpụmkpụ ụzọ ike tie nya okwu ogonu ya ka na-edikere anyị mkpa karịgara ukpedem ogo anyị egwerachi ogo ni efe ọka mkpa ma na-eribgara nri ibe chigarachi onwe ukpe mbenegara mbene Ishegwari ọsụkwanụ mbelenyo nwunye kene na-agọchi na-ekpete onye anyị bụ ofu nwaanyị anyị na-atụ asa ka ya na-anọchi anya anyị na okpokuru na-akpọ NNU Ndokwa Beku ya bụ onye isi n'ebe bụ anyị ka jụọ nwata ajụjụ banye n'ife eme n'ebe n'ikete bụ anyị bụ ebidogoro aka gwachi ya sụrụ ọnụ ya gwagara onye ụkwanị gwagara anyị ndị ụkwanị onye ọbụ abisa
abi ajeni otofeni afọ mbụ Chief Amechi Asogoni mụ bụ onye na-anọchi anya Ndokwa Ekwu Union and by the grace of God ọ bụ mmeso na arụ bụ ọ dịkasị mụ na onwe ngịrị kwa mmenisi mụ bụ chief servant na ebe. Thank you.
Igbo onye ụkwa na-ebe
bụ onye ọkpa na Ndokwa East.
Kete anyị anụwa ọkụ isu n'oyibo gba ndị na-anọchi anya na gọọmenti ịlọ ife kushinede gwachi ndị youth elife kushinede Igbo fuma ndị kpanụ ka anyị kewere ụka ikpani were rụọ ọrụ ni yeku na ekoshi dị na gọọmenti kunele okwu n'usoro n'ode lokushinede bụ oyibo ka isone anyị ka gwachi nwata kelenkele nke isu anụ ụkwanị ka ịgwa ọsụkwanị ife ikuni na oge ikpara n'ụka abisa
mbanani ele ọ dị bụ ọchịchị dịga bebe and inekwumanya ịbịa na ọkaiwu iwu na-eche Naijiria na iwu anyị ji na-arụ ọrụ n'ọsọ ebe nwega na-eredo na-eso n'usoro and mụ na onwe m bụ n'obi si ndị na-anọchi anya anyị n'ọkwa na gọọmenti nwere bụ na-arụ anyị ndị na-anọchi anya Ndokwa na NNU nwere ebe anyị na-arụ ụmụ anyị ndị na-ebu asa ọnụma na-ewe kwụsị iwe jiwe na ọkwa dị wee mejọna because ebe mara atụrụ mmadụ ka ọ na-ebi aka adakwa amalele ọ na-ebu ọnụma but ife dị dani bụ ele anyị bịa kọmani ọsọ mara agba ọnụma agbocha ọnụma na-adị chọọ solution so solution na-achọfọ bụ kwasị ka anyị light up Ndokwa ọsa mmadụ na-ekwuele because even mụ onwe m anybody that will stand against darkness dịbụ onye iwe Ndokwa so ifu asị ife anyị gwani ndị na-anọchi anya anyị na ebe ndị isi nọ bụsị wabiko wabefo iwu na-eche ọsa mmadụ nyere anyị nọ nkịta ife anyị ji na-arụ ọrụ bụ okwu ọnụ ọchịchị demokrasi bụ ọchịchị ndị mmadụ nwere ọzọ na-eme karịa okwu funi ọnụwa ife bụ atụrụ mmadụ okwu a n'ọnụ amarụ okwu a n'ọnụ igeza ntị mitin nke wakpọ na nkịta the 3 local government chairman eti akwa arụ na ife wakwesị na ọrụ eru agwa sị na ọsa mmadụ sị na eru arụ debeni anyị dị nwe soro esuwe ka anyị na-ene ife nọ na-arụ ọgbara na-eso ifu ekwu n'ọnụ ọberugo ofu ọnwa gwadịbe eti efe ndị wakwuni oge nke anyị na nwaanyị be NNU dị nwenye ya bụ notis tụ na-ada n'ifu nukwuni o ruo oge ọsa Ndokwa na-apụta protest nke ajụ asa bụ onye na-eme because Ndokwa na-ekwu nwe n'afa Ndokwa na-ekwu bụ Ndokwa So mother ekusi ya marry. You must know because how anyị bụ the people. So mfenji a na-ekwa ndị mara bụ sị eru mmena ya n'ime ọnụ ebe a na-akpọ for social media. Ọnụ ndokwa na ya na-eyi bụ ọnụ ndokwa. Ọsa ndokwa esolefu anyị gwa ndị gọọmenti ife na-ewe anyị tọkwa dị. Etekide funu eru na-agba kwa afọ sọkwu nwuni within 2 weeks or 1 month. Nke gosi na see there's power in our own command of voice. So ejima na-ekene sọsa mmadụ na ọpụta bekwu mere ka ọdịnọsa mma.
Abisa.
Mbana.
Kini loni shi ya ke NNU ye ke me ke ukpe kana be nguru ni Imokwane. Shi se ni onu okwu nda na no chenya nya. Ofotu shobe luizu ka nebe ukpe na nguru. Ofotu shobe lu onwa nebe ko fo nwa ukpe na nguru. Bo anya maro nda politician. Bo ai ga jugirai. Shi ki ke megida ke yoni umuazu ye ke me ke ukpene be nwuru ni ebukpene dị n'Imokwane Abisa
ebe anyị je eme bụ sị ọ kara afọ n'ụwa agwa ndokwa ifu aje eme anyị ka ọ dị dịnị o soro ụwa n'azụ to be sure na ọ tụrụ ụfụ asị kwuru sị wee nyefu ndokwa izu ụka n'aba mụ ji n'ọnụ ngwa asị ka ọ maka bụsị imepụsa n'izu ụka n'aba ya bụ ahụ ofu ọnwa so anyị ndị NNU ji afụsụwa mmezulifu ekwuni because ibe belofusi anyị nọ n'ọnwa anọ 4 months going on office. So I need time to monitor promise up to 2027. So when you get deceived, and by the grace of God, the only person, if there must be one, that cannot be manipulated, should be the NNUPG. Because of some Amago, what I believe, or some Amago antecedent, some Amago is one even funny. And by the grace of God, I need a mayor called Ndokwa. So I just so now, on work I just use a gym monitor. And as far as when you promise, it must come to pass. And Belofu, ọkwụngwa dozonaba ofu bụ ọkọneti ndokwa na ọkwụngo oyibo demeni abụ kele dị dome ka fesu wefu kwa activate ka anyị nwere step down opsi fesu ya adaba bịa we utilize gold nke dade if they are underutilizing the phase 1 onwuge bụ na fire ndokwa ka ndokwa benefit those ndo ife ndị na-eme na ọkparuka social engagement must be involved because ndokwa were mụrụ enu oyibo ka na-asụ
oyiwo m shi amarụ ọsị ọsa ụlọọrụ midia dị n'Imokwane sụkwane trumpet ya aka ishi nne ọsụkwane na-ese enyi n'ụkwane trumpet oge kene anyị ka gwa ishi were ọnụ kene ọsụkwane dị na-enye ọsọ nwechi mife ọzọ ya gwasị ka ịgwawe
ekene ka nweni na ọsa ndị eze dị na Ndokwa ekene ka mụ na onwe nwesịrị ọsa ndị leaders bụ PG ka CDC chairman ka youth president dị na Ndokwa na ọsụwa ncha afụnị si mụ nọ n'ọnọdụ nke and mụ na onwe m onye fụnị na ọfọ ọsa Ndokwa and ọsa ndị mụ na arụ ka ọ dị executive ndị mụ na anọ n'ọnọdụ anyị ji afụsị ife na-asọ Ndokwa bụ ife anyị na-eme ngwụgwọ anyị bụ ka anyị mee ka ọ dị Ndokwa mma ọwa nnezi anya ga-emefie kwabe zoro ezoru kwanụ mmadụ si niyo na ndị fụ meseji ndị ma na-ezite m na agwansị m mmere ị na-anya ọsọ ife na-eme na social media uche nda anọnwụ n'afọ kwu nke mmekwu na consult asị ruo ekwu na social media ma consult asị gọọmenti and that is why iji na-efosi ife nkwuru nkịta bụ ka ọ bara anyị blame ezi ndị gọọmenti na-ebu adị mekwu masụ kwasị ụmụ anyị sụa nwe ndidi na-eru ekwefuni nkwa anyị na-afụsụ emege and when mesi na ihe protest na anyị na-ekwu anyị ji lead ya o mesele the due process chọn ọsịfa adas na Ndokwa mma and okwu anyị enwe ụgwụ because ọsọ onye nọ n'ọrụ ọsambọchị bụ ọrụ isi agwarị
yo mbele narị
thank you very much
ezi onye Ukwane mbele narị
mbana
isi agwarị
hello
ọsụkwanị mbele anyị o onye kenye na-agọchi na mkpete onye anyị bụ Ndokwa West Local Government Chairman akesa ekpaluka banye ife menebe n'ikete bụ biko gwagara anya efe
na bụ Chief Obi Nzete Council Chairman Ndokwa West
gwagwa anyị shi ndị Local Government Chairman dị n'Ukwuani Ukwane shi unu kpọ na ozuzu na banye ọganisi Ukwane unu ekwu okwu ukpe unu ekwu okwu security nnukwu n'okwu mkpukpu ife elukpe ka emebe nwuru n'ime anyị Ukwane oyibo kwunu ka na-eso yosọ bụ onye ojigbo onye Ukwane eso n'Ukwane na ebe egbebe anyị na-ekene gị ya elegị na nyaragachi onye Ukwane biko ụmụ anyị kwuru ka ya agba ogene banye ukpe na niile ngwu n'Ukwane ọsọ nwere oji ka ejije nkịta na na-ego nke
ife a na-arịọ bụ sị onye na-agba ogene ebe ada n'oyibo apụsaghọrị oyibo gọọmenti sherif na onye ma apụsaghọrị so ka enye ukpe and ife ka ejiwe enye ukpe no adịsaghọrị redi kịta den anyị ezugo kọwashọn we eje iberu n'okwu mkpe ka nna anyị ka ndị isi atụ ọrụ tụ oyibo wesara ego So within now and the month time, we put so they memory. And a bit of coffee.
Unekua, and you could work it on she Opotoshi, Belisu Caneba, Ukwuani Ngulu, Opotoshi Belo, on one never, Ukwuani Ngulu. I don't carry you never know, Ukwuani Ngulu. Get it on a canyon, the Colobe, me.
Unaquanyoku.
Aje, we can also point when they need.
Well, Ukwuani Umophobia, Ukwuani Banese. Now, Yadimao, about Jesus.
Amen.